We were going to do a completely different show. We're going to talk about who crashed Luna. But then we discovered that there may be 3 huge scams in crypto, massive scams in crypto. If you're holding Solana, if you're holding XRP, or if you're holding Doge, we may have uncovered a huge scam in crypto. So you want to be watching the show. Also, we're going to show you the sequence of events of who crashed Luna and when they crashed Luna. We're also going to talk about some good news for Bitcoin, some bad news. We're going to be doing some BYBIT giveaways. We're going to be doing some BitConnect giveaways. And we're going to have some fun. But most importantly, we've just uncovered 3 huge scams in crypto. As if we haven't had enough this year, we have to now have some more scams.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
I don't know if I can handle it. I mean, I got to be honest. I don't know. Let me just make this a bit louder. I can't hear anything. I mean, I don't really know if I can handle another scam. I'm at the point now where, I mean, we've had Luna, we've had 3AC, we've had Celsius, we've had Voyager, we've had BlockFi, we've had FTX, I don't know if I can do another scam. And today, apparently, 3 more scams. As I said, if you are holding Solana, if you're holding DogeCoin, if you are holding XRP, you may be holding scams. You really may be holding scam tokens. I'm going to show you that today. I got the Christmas hat. What happened to I mean, this is not a Christmas hat. Oh, what happened to the thing of the Christmas hat?
The reindeer ate it.
No, we need to get a new Christmas hat. What is this? I mean, this is so bad. Please, can we get a new Christmas hat? So we're going to be doing Christmas giveaways today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin and the bear market and where we are. And I've got some data for you that says that, look, even though this is potentially the most boring week in crypto, it has been. It's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, very boring. I'm going to show you why this is the calm before the storm. And I'm almost willing to bet my bottom dollar that, what's the date today? 8th?
Yes, it's the 8th.
Okay, so I would say that by next week, Tuesday, we have huge moves in the market, and I'm going to show you where this move is going to be and why the move is going to be. And it's going to be huge, and when you see it, you're going to believe me. Let's just see. Is there anything else that I'm going to show you today? I'm going to show you today the sequence of events that happened and how Luna was crashed. And you know what? I'm going to prove to you today that the people that crashed Luna was actually SPF. I'm going to prove to you today, on-chain, off-chain, using court papers, that the crash, the depegging of Luna was single-handedly caused by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. That's the show today. But I don't know if I can handle another scam. And there's 3. And it happened in one day, just when I thought we had this thing right. Someone's asking, what do I think of Giddy? We'll talk about that as well. Because remember, I said to you guys, I told you guys, I said, do not buy it. Let me do the homework. Yesterday, I had the call with the team. Today, I can give you feedback and I can tell you whether I think you should be buying it or not buying it. And I can tell you what I'm doing or what I'm doing right now with my position. So that's what we're going to do today. What you're going to do is very simple, okay? What you're going to do is very, 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 very simple. You're going to smash the subscribe button because we've been here all day and we've been all year and we've been working hard all year, and all we want for Christmas is 600,000 subscribers, and we're on 593,000 and I don't know, and change. And the only way we can get to 600 is if you subscribe. So you subscribe, you hit the like button. Also yesterday, you know why no one came to the show yesterday? Remember I said, yeah, it was my son's school concert and I didn't come to the show. You know why no one came to the show yesterday? Because we got shadow banned again, and no one got notifications. I was like, people like, why didn't you do a show today? I'm like, I did do a show today. Well, I didn't get a notification. Shadow ban. So please, you want to help us get unshadow banned? I'm not asking for much. I'm going to give away huge money on the show today. I'm going to give away huge alpha on the show today. I'm not asking for much. I'm asking for a subscribe and I'm asking for a like. That's it. That's all I want. So let's do it. Let's start today with the highest alpha show on the web. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Here's where we are. Boring as hell, 16,852. But you got to be impressed that we're holding at 16,852, given where the hell we're at. And, you know, the other thing is, what you got to look at is you got to look at this bear market and how long this bear market's been going on for. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're almost at 400 days in the bear market. Let's quickly just quickly. It's huge. It's okay. So November 10th is when Bitcoin hit the all-time high. Remember that day? There we go. So we are now 392 days into this bear market. So if you're still here, congratulations. I know it feels boring. You can look at the GMX dashboard to see if you can expect fireworks. Right now, no fireworks. Longs and shorts are pretty much equal. So not that. And here is a representation of how long this bear market is relative to all the other bear market, which is the green one. I mean, if you're here, you've survived the second longest bear market ever. There's only been one other longer bear market, and even that ended pretty soon. Now, in the next, what are we going to say? Next 4 days, 3 days, everything's going to change. So right now it's quiet. You look at Bitcoin, quiet. You look at the NASDAQ, pretty much like looking for a heartbeat, almost dead. You look at the dollar index, pretty much waiting at 105. I'm still bullish about this lower low. Carl, are you bullish about the lower low on the dollar index, or you're not even paying attention to it?
I'm paying attention to, but on a higher time frame, a 6-month scale, it's at a key level.
Okay, so it's at a key level. Okay, so feels like boring as hell, but it's all about to change. And in the next couple of days, in the next 4 or 5 days, it's all going to change. And then we're going to decide whether we're going to have the worst year that Bitcoin has ever had. Because right now, that's where we are at. We're at minus 65%. We're at the second worst year that Bitcoin has ever had. Or whether we can somehow claw our way up the rankings. I mean, in a pretty sick way, I just want it to be the worst year. So at least I can say we survived the worst year. But on the other hand, I do want it to go up. So that's where we're at. And I'll tell you what my thesis is and why I think we're going to get a lot of action in the next 5 or 6 days. So here's where we're at. On Tuesday. Tuesday? When's the 13th? Tuesday's the 13th, right?
Next week, Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
Let me check.
Let's check.
It is Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, so you see on the 13th, we get the CPI inflation readings. That's happening on next week on the 13th. Last CPI, 1, 2, 3. The last 4 CPI readings have been going down. You can see that the inflation numbers have been going down from the peak just above 9. We're now in the 7s. I think we're at 7.7. So that happens on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we're going to get the Fed decision to decide what the interest rates are. So here's how this thing's going to play out. If we get a lower inflation reading than 7.7%, and I think we will get a lower inflation reading than 7.7%. You know why? Because the gas prices, the petrol prices, which drive a big part of inflation, have gone down. The house prices and the rental prices have gone down. That's the facts. Those are the numbers. I'm not making them up. Those are facts. That means that in my calculation, we should have lower inflation numbers than 7.7%. I think that when that happens, the numbers go, we get inflation numbers at 7.7. That's 5 low inflation numbers in a row. The market goes, oh my God, this whole Powell thing is actually really working. By the way, remember, Powell also came out the other day and he said that maybe the time to slow down the monetary policy rate hikes may be as soon as December. We get a low inflation number on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the Fed meet to have their final FOMC meeting for the year. Right now, there's a 75% of a 50 basis point rate hike. Can you imagine what happens? Can you imagine, just for 1 second, just imagine what happens if on Tuesday we get a low inflation number and on Wednesday we get a 50 basis point rate hike? Can you just for 1 second, let's just do this together for 1 second. Just for 1 second, let's just stop and imagine what happens if we get a low inflation number on Tuesday under 7.7%, okay? And we get a 50 basis point rate hike on Wednesday. Let's just imagine it for 1 second. Just 1 second.
Brilliant. Send to them.
Just imagine it. Just imagine it. It's gonna be fucking brilliant. Okay. Okay. So just let's hope that happens. Let's look at the other scenario because there's gonna be another scenario. The other scenario is we get a slightly higher inflation number, just a little bit higher than the inflation number. Bang, we still get a 50 basis point rate hike. So I'm going to predict the following, okay? Here's my prediction. I know you guys are going to make memes out of me next week if I'm wrong, but here goes. I say next week we get a lower inflation number than the last one, lower than 7.7. I say the market goes up. I say and the market starts to go bananas. And then on Wednesday, we're going to get the 50 basis point rate hike. And then we are going to shoot up the rankings. And I think that what's going to happen is we're going to go to a place where we are the third. Instead of being in second place from the bottom, we're going to be in third place from the bottom. And that's how we're going to finish the year. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but at least I've got the guts to sit here and to make a prediction. Because there's some people that just like, they make YouTube shows, and what they do is like they like kind of like skirt around shit. Like they won't say things because they said it's going to come bite them in the ass. My ass has been so badly bitten by you guys, I don't even give shit anymore. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. I want to show you one or two other things, really good things. First thing is, I saw this, and I think it's worth looking at. So it took 6 weeks after Terra collapsed for the insolvencies of 3 Arrows Capital, Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager to be made public. Now, it's been 4 weeks since the FTX and Alameda collapse. Right now, Genesis is the only one that's about to collapse. And if it does, we don't know if it's going to take Alameda down. What that's showing you is that kind of like everybody that was leveraged is now leveraged. Okay. That's pretty much where we're at. And so what's left is, as I said before, we get these retard holders who we're not leveraged anymore. All our leverage has been unwound, and we're not selling. We believe in this technology. We're not selling. And so the leverage is gone. We're not selling anymore. We're retard holders, and like there's nothing left to unwind anymore. It's all finished. And the one that might still unwind is Genesis. You know, Genesis is a big problem. This is where we're going to find the clues that show us that SBF collapsed Luna, which collapsed Celsius, which collapsed. We'll go through the whole chain. You'll see that in a second. But now what Genesis have said is, look, you know that we're struggling and we want to be raising capital. Well, bad news. We're not going to be raising it in a couple of days. It's actually going to take us like a couple of weeks. It's going to take a long time. In fact, they sent this mail out to their clients, well written by their lawyers, to actually say nothing and still say a lot. So it says, many thanks for your continued support as we pursue various options for our lending business. We are committed to being as transparent as possible with you and wanted to update you on a few important points as our process continues. First, our process remains to identify the best possible outcome for Genesis clients. We continue to focus our time and resources on this goal, working in consultation with highly experienced advisors and in close collaboration with our owner, DCG. We are evaluating the most effective path to preserve clients' assets, strengthen our liquidity, and ultimately move our business forward. We are also engaged in productive discussions with the representatives of several client groups that have recently coalesced. Would you like to coalesce with me? You might want to. I'll show you something actually quite funny there. Second, all other Genesis entities remain fully operational as we continue supporting our clients 24/7 for their spot and derivatives and their derivatives and custodies. Perhaps most importantly, we greatly appreciate your continued patience and your commitment to timely communication when we have meaningful developments to share. As you know, these are extraordinary times in our industry. And while we're working urgently, this is a comprehensive process that will take some time. At this point, we anticipate that it'll take additional weeks rather than days for us to arrive at a path forward. We urge you, as we progress, sorry, I lost my space there. Additional weeks rather than days to arrive at the path forward. As we progress, you will hear from us on meaningful developments, including any updates on time. Meanwhile, we are intensely engaged in crafting the best resolution for you and continue to serve you moving forward. So basically, that letter, basically, if you want to translate it, this is a translation. The translation is, look, it's December. Everyone is on holiday. Everyone's tired after a bad year. We're also tired. We need a break. Some of us are going skiing. those of us that are in the Southern Hemisphere are going to the beaches, and I think we should just chat in January. And if you got money with us, basically, don't expect to hear from us until January. That's kind of what that letter says if you speak English. Then when that happened, the GBTC premium discount went to minus 47.4%, because now again, remember I explained to you that a lot of DCG's GBTC shares are sitting in Genesis. And since there's no solution for Genesis, now what we know is that the premium is down to 47.3%. I am, and I say this again, I'm only saying this because, you know, the word transparent has run, transparent, TRAN, so ran. I'm being transparent with you. I'm still buying GBTC. I know it's high risk, but I think for me, it's worth buying GBTC. I'm also going to buy ETH. Maybe I'll put the trade through on the show today. The reason why I'm buying ETH is because all the whales are buying ETH. Whales and sharks are adding Ethereum. And also what I noticed here was that if you look at Deribit, which is the biggest options exchange right now, it looks like the ETH volume is much bigger than the Bitcoin volume, which shows that institutional people are buying ETH over Bitcoin. You see the black line here? The black line here is ETH, and the green line is Bitcoin. And what this shows is that there's a lot of institutional, institutional interest in Ethereum. And that's why today on the show, we're going to buy ETH together, because I'm transparent, because I'm so transparent with you guys, that we're going to do that together. Just lastly, listen, if you are thinking of giving up on crypto, you join 92% of Americans, because only 8% of Americans have a positive view of cryptocurrencies. And you know what? I think that this is right. Up until today, like, I think a lot more people should be positive about cryptocurrencies. But given the fact that we've uncovered another 3 scams, specifically around DogeCoin, Solana, and XRP, I don't actually blame people that after all these things that only 8% of Americans have a positive view on cryptocurrencies. I don't blame people. So if you are thinking of giving up, you're like part of the other 92%. And if you're not, then you're with us and you're the part of the last 8% that are going to fight very, 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 very hard, even in the wake of these scams that are happening, which we're going to talk about because we have to. I don't know if you saw this before we talk about the scams. Guys, if you want the scam, smash the like button. Bring the people. Let's have a party here. You want the scams? How many likes have we got? Okay, we want scams. You want scams? 2,500 likes. You want? Hold on. I got Raoul Paul's 5 picks. I got Arthur Hayes' 5 picks. I've got 5 other. I've got so many of those 5 picks that we did yesterday. If you want those, let us know. 800 likes. 4,000 people. 800 likes. I'm doing this all wrong. I'm doing this all wrong. Okay, so someone says bring back Bitconnect. Listen, guys, if you did have a claim in Bitconnect, right now Bitconnect has more money than claims. So a friend of mine who's a lawyer, David Silver, he says that right now.
What would you like to search for?
Sorry, go away. He says that in the Bitconnect process, they have more money in Bitconnect than people that have claimed. Can you imagine? So if you were affected by Bitconnect, or if you know someone, just tell them to go and file a claim, because you'll get 100% of your money back, because there's more money than claims. I wonder what they do with the change. Like, what? Just like money for you, money for you, money for you, money for you. But by the way, I bought a brown shirt, guys. I bought a brown shirt. I had a blue one and a black one. I got a brown one also. I need shirts, guys. Size small, please. Send me your shirts. Send me shirts. All right, let's get back to the serious alpha. It's December. It's hard to be serious. So Binance's Bitcoin reserves are actually fully collateralized, according to Mazars. Now, let me tell you that I really believe that Binance's Bitcoin. So listen to what it says. Like, read between the lines here. Binance's Bitcoin reserves are fully collateralized. Not their ETH, not their altcoin, not their BNB, just their Bitcoin reserves are fully collateralized, according to Mazars. So, by the way, as I say this, I do believe that Binance is the most solid exchange in the whole industry, and I don't believe there's anything wrong in Binance. But I do want to show you what the skeptics are saying, because that's what balanced reporting is all about. So the company's Mazars. We really trust Mazars. Dylan Leclerc doesn't like CZ. He thinks CZ is the next thing to drop, and he's uncovered one or two other things. I mean, I don't agree with him on this. First thing is, Willie Woo asks, will you be doing an independent audit of the liabilities against the reserves? And will other coins also be audited? He says, yes, but liabilities are harder. We don't owe anyone money. So we don't owe any loans to anyone. You can ask around. Now, I know that's quite a cheeky answer, but the truth is, like, if someone tweets it and then you say, hey, hold on, and someone else reads it, says, hey, hold on, you owe me money, the whole of Twitter would have got onto it. So it's actually a very smart answer. But what Dylan Leclerc also says, and actually we have a guy here who's an accountant auditor, typical accountant auditor, like seriously boring guy, zero life in him. I mean, like the guy's like, you know, accountant auditor, like you try to smile at him, he's like basically like he's a serious auditor. Not going to mention his name, he knows who he is. But, you know, then after I can't say that. He can't say that I was speaking about him, right? So if you look at what the Mazars report says, and this is what our auditor also picked up, because only auditors can pick this shit up, okay? It's not an audit. It is an audit on what they called AUP, which is agreed upon procedures. And it says, Binance has requested that we perform an AUP engagement. It's not an audit. It's an agreed upon procedure. And he says an agreed upon procedure engagement is not an audit review or other assurance engagement. So that's what Dylan Leclerc says. Again, look, I really hope that Binance is liquid and that Binance is solvent, because if Binance is not liquid and not solvent, I don't know if my heart can take another, after what I've been through this year, with Luna and 3 Arrows Capital and Celsius and being attacked by communities and being blamed for the whole Luna collapse. I don't know if my heart can take another collapse. So I would say that, look, I think Binance is solvent. And I think that if they're not solvent, I just want to believe that they're solvent. And even if they're insolvent, rather don't tell us. Just rather just keep hiding it, because I don't know if we can handle it anymore. I'm speaking on behalf of Yuri, AJ, Zakwan, Brandon, Zane Newman, Azdek, Tom Mayer. I'm speaking on behalf of the whole Banter fam. I just don't think that we deserve it or we can handle it anymore. And so, yeah, I think even if you listen, CZ, do me a favor, even if there is something wrong, and I know there isn't, but just even if there is, just don't tell anyone. Give us like 2 years to recover. Do it in 2025. If there's something wrong, just let us recover. Yeah, I can't take anymore. I cannot take anymore. 3 more scams. We'll talk about the 3 scams at the end, but there's 3 more scams, and you know what? Let's see. All right, let's talk about FTX. And again, I don't talk about FTX unless there's something that to talk about. And I think today we have to talk about it a little bit more, just a little bit more, because I think you're actually going to like this. The first thing is there was a letter with Maxine Williams asking him to be here on the 14th of December. Mr. Bankman-Fried, I'm writing for your appearance at the committee hearing. They're not letting him get away. They want him there on the 14th of December. I think that they want him there virtually. I don't think he'd go there not virtually. Now, CNBC says that Maxine Waters is not going to testify, is not going to subpoena him to testify. And so Dave Portnoy comes out and like he freaks out. The guy.
Okay, I could do another rant about our friend SPF. You remember him, the CEO of FTX? Hi, y'all, it's SPF. It just came out the last couple hours that Maxine Waters, who has been seen taking pictures with him, blowing kisses to him, is not going to subpoena this guy to testify in front of Congress. What are we talking about? SPF for the last week, 2 weeks, has been on fucking media tour. He's going around trying to act like Mr. Honest. He wants to figure it out and get people their money back.
Can I just stop you and say something? Have you seen how hot his girlfriend is? She's a Silvana, I think is her name. She's a Colombian model. Have you seen how hot she is?
Every hard question
just
that SPF gets asked, like, hey, SPF, where did the $8 billion go? Hey, SPF, how did you know that you were commingling funds, that money were depositing to FTX? You were basically gambling.
Now, and I'm thinking about him and his girlfriend. I look at the ladder in the back. I'm just thinking to myself, why do they have a ladder? I mean, I'll leave it up to your imagination.
On stocks with Alameda, same parent company. his answer, by the way, to every one of those questions is this. I don't know. That's news to me. I don't know where the $8 billion went. Let me look it up. I got to find out. Let me talk to some people. I don't know.
Well, you said you had $4 billion that came in, right?
Yep.
Does that still exist? Was that ever real?
My guess is that some of them might. This
guy, the CEO.
That's why he has a ladder, because she is very tall. I'll show you a picture of her. She's on my Instagram. I follow her on Instagram. I'll show you in a second. Anyway, Maxime Water says she will actually subpoena him. She says she will eventually definitely subpoena him. But that's not the story. That's not Silvana Mallorca's name. That's right. It's not about the subpoena here. The story gets a lot more exciting because now the shit is starting to hit the fan here. Guys, okay, enough now about Silvana. It's enough. Okay, so the shit's about to hit the fan here. The first thing, and I'm loving this, okay? I am fucking loving this, okay? Gary Gensler is getting roasted, and this time he's getting roasted not just by BitBoy, okay? He's actually getting roasted by other senators. You got to read this shit, okay? The first one that you got to read is this from I'm writing, so this comes from Richie Torres, a member of Congress. It says, I'm writing to respectfully request that the Government Accountability Office conduct an independent review of the SEC's failure to protect the investing public from the egregious mismanagement and malfeasance of FTX, which has brought billions of dollars in losses to about 1 million creditors and customers. Chair Gary Gensler, by the logic of his own public announcements, is singularly responsible for the regulatory failures surrounding the collapse of FTX and its affiliate FTX US. Chair Gensler has said on countless occasions that there is no need for authorizing legislation from Congress. The SEC presently possesses the authority it needs to regulate crypto exchanges, which is exactly what he's saying. If the SEC has the authority, Mr. Gensler claims, why did he fail to uncover the largest crypto Ponzi scheme in US history? And by the way, one of the largest financial schemes in history. One cannot have it both ways while asserting authority while avoiding accountability. It is on Congress to pass laws, but once the necessary laws have been enacted, it is on the regulators to apply those laws, to conduct investigations, and to protect the public. When it comes to FTX, Chair Gensler fundamentally failed as a regulator, and he has no one to blame but himself. The SEC choose to dedicate scarce time and resources investigating Kim Kardashian rather than opaque crypto exchanges, leaving many to question whether the commission is operating efficiently and apolitically and whether it has its priorities in the right place. The operating principle of the SEC must be protection for the investing public rather than publicity for the political appointee in charge. This is one of the best letters I've ever read. If the SEC had done due diligence thoroughly investigating the financials of FTX, there would have been a greater likelihood of exposing the crypto exchange for what it truly is, the house of cards built on the monopoly money printed out of thin air. Mr. Gensler's leadership has left the career staff at SEC fundamentally demoralized to the extent rarely seen, with the SEC Inspector General reporting the highest attrition risk in a decade. To what extent has Mr. Gensler's demoralization of his own workforce crippled the commission in its performance of duty to protect investors? The public deserves an answer. Given the magnitude of the regulatory failures around the FTX saga, an independent review is both needed and warranted. Thank you for your consideration. Richie Torres, member of Congress. How the fuck is that letter? That is a letter. That is a letter. That is a letter. And so now the Congress writes Gary Gensler letter. It says, Dear Gary Gensler, we have questions regarding the SEC utilization of Division of Enforcement and Division of Examination authorities to obtain information related to cryptocurrency and blockchain firm. Those authorities are being suited to the SEC's division charged with hiding public commentary as part of the rulemaking process. And so they write him this whole letter saying, we have reason to believe that the request might be, you got to read this letter, but basically they're all coming down on Gary Gensler. And this is, I think, one of the positives that has come out of this, okay, is that now government needs to act. And the pressure is coming on Gary Gensler. And one of the things Gary Gensler is going to have to do at some stage, he's going to have to address GBTC and why he hasn't passed an ETF. That is one of the reasons why I'm starting to buy GBTC now. You can't be in Congress and get all these letters with all these signatures on it from big people and still not act. It just doesn't work. Okay. So let's see, is there anything we missed here? Okay, so it says, over the past 5 years, how many voluntary documents has the SEC sent to individuals, project teams, and entities regarding activities related to cryptocurrency digital assets? On average, year by year, over the past 5 years, how many questions did the SEC ask in each voluntary document, year by year? So they're asking him to say, look, show us what you're doing. Show us what you're doing. And I think that this is the beginning of the end for Gary Gensler. That's for sure. I think this is the beginning of the end for Gary Gensler. In the meantime, there's also now investigations on where the hell the money is. And it's not only the money that SBF needs to account for in all the investments, but also the money was stolen. So now they've narrowed it down to 4 people. The first one is Gary. The second one is Nishad. The third one is Sam. And the fourth one is a guy called Adam Yedidia. Adam is a close friend of Sam and worked at FTX when everyone resigned. He was one of the developers that had the private keys. And he was supposed to succeed Nishad. So now there's questions about where the money is. Now, I want to show you how I promise you we are going to talk about the 3 scams, Solana, DogeCoin, and XRP. We are going to talk about it, I promise. And I promise you we're going to talk about the trade that I took yesterday on Giddy. We are going to talk about all of that, I promise. But first I want to talk to you about how FTX was actually responsible for crashing everything. And I'll show you why. Because I'm going to prove to you now that Sam attacked Luna. Luna made 3 Arrows Capital collapse. 3 Arrows Capital made BlockFi and Voyager collapse because biggest creditor to BlockFi and Voyager. Then after that, Sam again attacked, and this time he attacked STETH. Then STETH was what eventually crashed Celsius. Then Sam crashed Alameda. Alameda crashed FTT and FTX. FTT and FTX then recrashed Voyager and BlockFi, who were already manned down after they'd been rescued by SBF, after they were taken down by 3AC. Then FTX and Alameda crashed Genesis. Genesis crashed DCG. And then Genesis also crashed Gemini, or crashing Gemini. So I'm going to show you how the whole thing happened and how it all started with SBF. And now what we're seeing is that FTX is being asked to, or there's an inquiry about market manipulation. Federal prosecutors are investigating whether SBF and his hedge fund orchestrated the trades that led to the collapse of Luna and Terra in May. And that, of course, as I said, started the collapse that crashed 3AC, that crashed BlockFi and Voyager, that crashed. So what do we know? Here's what we know. And this is a tweet from Jose, who's coming on to Banter tomorrow. Smart guy, works for Delphi. Okay, so he says, look, Genesis, the lending firm, mysteriously started to stock up on UST just days before the crash. Now, remember, if you've got a lot of UST, say I want to short something, I have to borrow to sell, right? So what they did was they started to stock up on UST. They started to stock up on UST. They bought 1 billion of USD from LFG. It's actually 1.5 billion of UST, and they got it from Gemini. And I'll show you the sequence of events in a couple of seconds. But just start thinking about these dates. August 2021, Alameda invests in Genesis. Okay, we know that because we now have the spreadsheet of the proofs. We can see that they started to invest in Genesis digital assets. Okay, Alameda Research made huge valuations, $1 billion valuation into Genesis, 550 here, 500 there, and they continued to invest. You can see that they started to invest $100 million in August 2021. Okay, so in August 2021, they first invest in Alameda, in Genesis. Then later on that year in Feb, they list a USD perpetual, just in the beginning of Feb. So I think end of Jan, beginning of Feb, they list a Terra UST perpetual. And why do you list a perpetual? So that you can short. Okay, then later on, LFG, look at the date, 5th of May, LFG closed a $1.5 billion OTC swap of UST with BTC. Remember, that's when the Luna Foundation took $1.5 billion and bought Bitcoin with it, and they used Genesis. Remember this tweet? They said the LFG has acquired 30,000. Remember these tweets that DogeCoin did? They acquired 1.5 billion using UST. So now Genesis have 1.5 billion in UST, right? Now I want to show you some more around this timeline. So they have 1.5 billion in UST. They then borrow some more, and we think it's about another billion. They launched the perpetual. And then there was a certain date. You'll remember this date. Remember the day that the curve pool was moved? Do you remember that day where the whole thing started, where there was where they were moving from one curve pool to another curve pool? That was the 7th of May. And if you track the transaction over here, there we go. There's a transaction on the 7th of May. So 5 May, they are accumulating UST. 7 May, there is the move from, I think it was curve pool 3. Can you see that's the move over there? What happens? Let's quickly go to the price. There we go. That is 5 May. 5 May, the peg is pretty much the peg. 6, 7, we depeg for the first time to 98.627. Monday the 8th, Sunday the 8th, and then Sunday the 7th and Monday the 8th. Sunday the 8th and Monday the 9th, we get the full depeg, which is pretty coincidental considering that we have the investment all before those dates by Alameda into Genesis. Here it is. It's on the liquidator's balance sheet over here. And then we have them 2 days before getting a whole lot of UST. You short the UST, you depeg the whole thing, and effectively you depeg the whole UST, and then everything starts to collapse. Now, of course, they denied this. SBF denies this. Sam Trabucco denies this. DogeCoin's asking questions. He's asking a lot of questions. Listen to the questions.
I mean, so I'm human. So I have a personal curiosity, a very strong personal curiosity in terms of whether Alameda had anything to do with the UST going down. But having said that, I don't think that really changes anything, right? Because
we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's go back to DogeCoin. DogeCoin says, look, I think the time has come for Genesis Trading to reveal if they provided $1 billion UST shortly before the crash of SBF, the crash to SBF Alameda. The purchase from LFG was represented as a stemming from interest to participate in Terra DeFi ecosystem, not ammo to attack the peg. Another question. Alameda borrowed 9 figures in Bitcoin from Voyager on depeg dates and asked other large firms to borrow 10 figures. What is it used for to become public knowledge? Could it have been to short Bitcoin to weaken the LFG reserves? This is fairly public knowledge at this point, but the large currency contraction that UST went through in February, blah, blah. So now DogeCoin's asking questions. Interesting, this is all going to come out now in the court documents, because in the Genesis liquidation, everything is starting to be revealed. That's why we're starting to get, in the Genesis chapter, if they go into chapter 11, we're going to get much more, but we're starting to get a lot of information about Alameda being very, very, very scrupulously linked to Genesis. We now know about the 1.5 billion UST. We now know about the more borrowing of the UST. We know all of this. And we now know that probably SBF was the one that attacked Luna, and that caused all the dominoes to collapse. Now, I have a question for you. First of all, are you surprised? No, you're not surprised. You know why you're not surprised? Because we always knew Alameda were bad people. It's why we never used an FTX referral link. It's why we fell out with Sam and FTX. It's why they used their public platform to do IDOs and then went and bought up all the Stargate tokens for themselves. Because they're assholes. And because they're not good people. But the truth is it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because whether or not SBF did it, or Citadel did it, or Kyle Dupes or James did it, doesn't really matter. What matters is that somebody would have done it. If it wasn't traditional finance, if it wasn't Citadel, if it wasn't, somebody would have eventually attacked the peg. And as Algo Trading says, there's zero chance Luna would have survived. And blaming SBF is just a way of shoving away the legal responsibilities. The truth is that probably would have collapsed anyway. But you know what it was? SBF was portraying himself to be the white knight that was saving crypto, while at the same time, he just kept attacking and attacking and attacking. Why? He first attacked Luna, then BlockFi and Voyager went under, and then he saw an opportunity to access users' funds, so he bailed out BlockFi and Voyager just so he could access more money. Then remember, he attacked the ST ETH peg, which eventually destroyed Celsius. And then he tried to bail out Celsius, but Alex Mashinsky wasn't going to have any of that, remember? And then eventually Alex Mashinsky had to resign. And so now we'll start seeing how the whole puzzle starts unraveling. And I'm going to put my money on to say that Sam Bankman-Fried eventually lands up in jail. And look, I'm sorry that we had to speak about them today, but I think it's worth speaking about. And next, we're going to speak about the 3 scams. Someone says alleged. It's not alleged anymore. Now I've showed you. It's not alleged. It's not alleged. And if you want to sue me, sue me. You know where to find me. I'm in Africa, bro. Let's talk about a couple of other things before we talk about the scams. We're going to talk about the scams, I promise. First thing is Andre is back. He's speaking. He even says, look, looking forward to speaking a few comments. There'll be no announcements. Don't expect hype. It's going to be a virtual attendance. Expect boring topics such as de-risking, L1 scaling, gas subsidies, gas monetization, The thing is, Andre's back. And the reason why we know Andre's back is if you go to Andre's bio, it's now a co-founder and architect of the Phantom Foundation. So like, you know, like it's not no longer like meme shit and stuff like that. It's like it's proper. Some other interesting news, and we're going to talk about the scams in a second. I'm going to do some giveaways for you guys in a sec. But Twitter is playing an interesting game with Apple. Why? Because you know that Apple charged 30% tax on all the stuff in the App Store. Well, Twitter to hike blue pricing from to $11 for iPhone users. So I think what Elon's doing is saying, look, you know, if you want to use an iPhone, that's cool, but you're going to pay more because I'm not paying more, and you guys can go and push Apple or start buying Apple products. So I think that's the other one. All right, now let's talk about the scams. So I warned you that I can't handle another scam, but someone very reliable says that DogeCoin, XRP, and Solana are all cons. Someone really, really, really reliable. When he speaks, we listen. Who is it? Any idea?
This thing, all these different prices, like we put up XRP and Solana and DogeCoin. Those are all, I believe, cons. Yeah. I mean, why don't we just put up like a bunch of stocks that are valued at the same size? So I'm tired of the con. I thought you guys did a terrific job. And I love I love blockchain, but it has nothing to do with what happened. That's like saying, you know, like I really love the fact that we put up cryptocurrencies. There's nothing to love. Technology's good, but it's. I mean, if we think that the XRP / USD coin is something that we should be following, well, I mean, we should be following. We should put up like Rent the Runway and Stitch Fix up there. I mean, you know, honestly. You know, let's put up
those CEOs on too, I guess.
I don't know. Let's put up Sienna up there. I don't know. I mean,
so listen, according to Jim Cramer, XRP, Doge, and Solana are scams. So if you do follow Jim Cramer, if you're one of those people that pay for the CNBC Investment Club to be with Jim Cramer, you should be selling your stuff. You should be selling your stuff. A couple of other things. So let's look here. Remember, we did this yesterday. I was having a lot of fun yesterday with these portfolios. You want to do some portfolios quickly? So we were looking at the top 5 coins that people are buying and adding to their portfolio this year. Let's look. I got picks today from Raoul Paul. I've got my pick. I've got Arthur Hayes. I've got Shachaf Bargevin from Coty. I've got Sheldon's picks. I've got Jose. I've got Avishal. I've got Jordy. Who do you want me to open first? Let's go. Who do you want me to open first? Who do you want me to open first? You're saying Ran inexcusable. It's not me. It's Jim. It's Jim Cramer, guys. All right, let's go. You tell me who should I open first. While you guys are doing that, remember I've got to select someone with a Christmas hat for the BYBIT Christmas promotion, all you need to do is put money into your BYBIT account. $250 is the minimum. And then you can win up to $50,000 in one day. And today there's special prizes, including, no, I'm not even going to mention it. So there are 5,398 people that have deposited. So let's go to the random number generator. Kyle, you've got the boxes. People have voted. Okay, 1,905. That is the winning number. So account number 1,905, you are the winning number. And what will you win? That's the question. What will you win? Because in the BYBIT 20 days until Christmas campaign, it's always box 2. It's always box 2. And
shows that on my show.
it's always box 2. You guys are always voting box 2, and box 2 always has the best prizes. So let's look at box number 1 before we look at Arthur Hayes' portfolio and Raoul Paul's portfolio. So in box number 1, you would have got box number 1 would have got $80. So that doesn't end there. You would also got a bed set, a run sleepy time bed set, okay, with 2 donut pillows, with 2 pillows with Bitcoin and Doge on them. And you would have got 2 tickets to Fred's wedding this weekend. That is if you got box number 1. And guys, tomorrow I need a pom-pom. I can't do that without pom-pom. Box number 3, you would have got a Sheldon bed set, okay, and $750. But instead, you got box number 2. You got box number 2. And inside box number 2 is, firstly, oh no, it's a bed set with Jimmy doing weights. Jimmy, the sound guy. You see Jimmy, the sound guy. You can't see it because it's a green screen. It's Jimmy, the sound guy. You get that. And of course you get the biggest prize because box number 2 always has the biggest prize. Who's doing this? You get $1,000. So if you are account number 2688981, remember to email us at giveaways@cryptobanter.com. And you will win the you can claim your prize and we'll send it to you. You get a Jimmy bed set, which is an amazing bed set, really good bed set with Jimmy on the gym. You also get 2 tickets to Fred's wedding. So if you are here in South Africa, you get 2 tickets to Fred's wedding this weekend. Fred has no idea we're giving this away, but you're getting 2 tickets to Fred's wedding. So it's account number 2688981, 2 tickets to Fred's wedding, bed set with Jimmy, and $1,000 credited to your account. Cool. Okay, 2 things we want to do today. I want to do some buying with you guys. I want to show you Dave Portnoy's girlfriend, and I want to show you the portfolio. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at Dave Portnoy. Did you see as soon as I spoke about Dave Portnoy's girlfriend? Look what happened to that. Okay, so you see that is. I'm telling you, bro, she's amazing. I follow her. So that look, I mean, you can see exactly what happened to the hat. I'll show you something else here. If we can get a Gary Gensler. See, now look at this. Look what happened to the hat. Okay, now look here. Wait, I'll show you again. Hold on, let me show you again. Okay, so if we go back to Silvana. Okay, look at that. Incredible how this hat works. Incredible how this hat works. So, okay, next thing I want to show you, let's quickly look at Raoul Paul's portfolio. By the way, there's a massive indicator that shows that we may be going into a bull market. We took our views per day across the Bitcoin price. You can see our views always just lag the Bitcoin price, you see? And it looks like they're lagging the Bitcoin price again. You can't see it. And it looks like they're lagging the Bitcoin price again. And the same thing with our subscribers. You can see that we lag the Bitcoin price and it looks like now is the turning point. So there's another good thing here. Let's look at Raoul's portfolio quickly. I mean, guys, we're here. Let's have some fun. I mean, everyone's rushing. Okay, let's look at what Sheldino Tentino would add into his portfolio. I know what Sheldino is adding into his portfolio. Theta, Render, Matic, ETH. That's what I think Tentino's adding into his long-term portfolio. Let's see if I'm right. Not all. So Theta, VeChain, Sol, AVAX, Rune is what Sheldon would hold for 2 years. I didn't drink water today. You said so. Okay. Let's look at Raoul Paul. Raoul Paul, Solana, ETH, Matic, Bitcoin. What do you think? Am I right? ETH, Matic, Solana, Doge, and Grail NFTs. I know why he's done Doge. Doge is his Twitter integration. It's the same as mine. It's the same as mine. Okay. Then let's look at Jose from Delphi. I say Jose is Solana, Injective Protocol, Rune, Matic, and something on the Cosmos chain. Let's see if I get it right. Okay, so I did say Injective. I did say ETH. I did say Solana. I did say Matic. I didn't get GMX. Okay, so and lastly, should we do Arthur Hayes or should we do Arthur Hayes tomorrow? All right, so you want to do Arthur Hayes tomorrow? Okay, let's do some Arthur Hayes tomorrow. Okay, now lastly, because I keep meaning to do this, but then I don't do it, and then it becomes like, you know, like when you always delay your buying, and then what happens is you land up dying poor because you just don't ever buy. See, now the price has gone up because I'm here doing the show. Now the price has gone up. Now it's a problem. It's a big problem. But hold on, I just need to authenticate myself with a two-factor authentication. I really hope I can authenticate myself because this is not actually my computer. Let's have a look here. No, hold on. We're going to do some buying together now. All together now. We're going to do some buying. Let me log out of this account. Hold on. It's going to be worth it. Stay with me, guys. Focus. Stay with me. Everybody stay with me. We can do this. Okay, there we go. This should work. Okay, come on. Okay, it's asking me for authentication, which I don't think I even have here. That's the problem. Okay, let's try this and see if it works. Please let me in. Okay, we have liftoff. And we're going to go to the spot account. We got to go to the spot account. And in our spot account, what we're going to do right now, go away. Hold on a second. Okay, in our spot account, I think we need to buy some ETH. But I think if you want to buy ETH, you got to have USDT in your account. Isn't that how it works? I don't have USDT in my account, and I really want to buy some ETH. I guess we're gonna have to do it tomorrow because I don't have USDT in my account. Because my traders didn't listen to me yesterday when I said put BTC in the account so we can swap the BTC for ETH. Yeah, but I mean you can see what I'm holding in my account. It's, you know, because it's transparent with the Ran. ETH, BNB, Uniswap, Curve, Helium, Solana, some USDC. I'll trade those USDC. I'll buy some ETH for that. I'll buy some ETH for that. Let's go 100%. At 124. And let's buy 21,000 worth of ETH. 17 ETH. Sold. Bang, gone. Here we go. There we go. Remember, if you want to participate in these competitions, if you want to win the Christmas portfolio, and tomorrow I'm going to give away the other James portfolios. So simple. It's Christmas time. It's what we do in Christmas. We watch George's show.
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George.
We're all George.
So welcome to
today,
another market.
Okay, no, let's not watch George. Let's not watch George's show.
Welcome to
today.
another market.
Okay, so you go here. It's the Christmas promotion. Sign up using this link tomorrow. Put $250 into your account, and you can win up to $50,000 every single day. You can do the same thing on BitGet. There's a massive BitGet promotion as well. With BitGet, you can get up to with BYBIT, you can get up to $30,000 sign up bonus, which is also huge. BitGet also big accounts. Now let's do something together. Are you all at home? Okay, now you ready? Let's do this. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go to George's videos. I like George, cool guy. I wish he'd come back on our show. We could have some fun with him. 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So on this happy Friday morning.
Okay, wait, one more. Come on, we're gonna do one more. Let's do one more. Let's go. Let's do one more. Come on, pick one. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So good morning. Things are looking.
Okay, guys. I think the stream's getting a little bit out of hand. I love George. Now, people say, "Are you friends with George?" I love George. He used to come on my show. I did watch a lot of his streams. He didn't come here. He doesn't come here anymore because we had a bit of a fallout. Not a fallout, but he took on Richard Hart, and I invited him to take on Richard Hart on my show. And then since then, he never came onto our show anymore. Anyway, I see Fred's leaving. Fred, we'll see you at the wedding. I gave away 2 tickets, by the way. Okay. See you guys again tomorrow. It's been fun being here with you guys. Until then, trade well, my friends. That was a lot of fun.
So Richard Hart ended him.
Oh, he didn't. He ended him on our show. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was the end.
Yeah, he didn't come. He never came back after it. He never.
It's like Richard says that